As per Dave's previous video, or my previous video, I shouldn't really talk about myself in the third person. This is not a cage for catching ball-bearing birds. It is actually part of our catwalk project. We're building some new outdoor cat facilities. This was going to be stage 3, but it's moved on to being stage 1. And I'll show you inside what it looks like. So this is a wood storage box that was, when the place was built, they had like the old Warm Ray, the Warm Bright, you know, the old green enamel heater. They would have had one of those installed. And this enabled you, this box out here is quite elaborate. I've got to do a bit more repair to it and seal it up a bit. You filled it full of wood during the day, and then during the night you could then inside you could take the wood out and put it in, so you didn't have to come outside in the cold. So it's quite a unique structure because it's made out of built quite strongly, so it's all bricked up, and then there's a slab on top. So that's the back of the half, and there is the chimney, brick chimney, of course. The front of the house is actually an extension, which is a brick extension, a suspended slab. This is a brick-footed house, so it's quite interesting constructed house. But there you go, and so there's that, and I'll take you inside and so I can show you inside. So then there is a catwalk, or a bit of a tunnel to get you around the gas heater, because we want to not block up access to the heater. So this is actually removable. Sits in there at the moment. I'll put a couple of pins in just to hold it in, but nothing permanent. And this is an old bird cage we had up the back. And this is, I'll put some steps in it now. Didn't have the steps in earlier when we did the bird video. I've still got to put one more shelf. This shelf here has to go under the tunnel exit. But what the cats can do, well, the plan is the cats will walk up to here, and then they'll go down the steps, like cats do. So there's steps there. And there will be another hole here. So the cats are using this to come down to ground level. And then there will be a cat tunnel along the path here, up against the wall. Probably require a couple of trips of Bunnings and clean up. So the cat then tunnel is going to be about 40 by 40 cube. Will run along the side of the house, and it'll come up to here, and the cats will be able to go up into the cat cage. Now this cat cage here is going very soon. So this is the current cat cage. Well, we had a double cat cage at Monstrosity. So I'll walk around. So the cats there'll be a cat cage here, like a Queensland room. It's going to be about, I won't tell you too much because it's a couple of weeks away. I have somebody coming in to help me with the construction of the wall. I'm not building that myself because it's quite structural and quite big. We have got assistants coming. I'll tell more about that later. But then there will be quite a big Queensland room on the back of the house, like built-in cat cage. And then there will be, along the side of the house here, will be the tunnel down to the ball-bearing bird cage. So that's the plan. We'll walk along here. This is the current halfway built tunnel in there. I'm not going to put it all out to show you, but this box is on wheels so the cats can come out the back door, get in the sun, get in that. But there'll be quite a large structure, and you'll be able to walk out the back door, and there'll also be a side door roughly where I'm standing, so you can actually enter the room from the outside from the deck. You'll also be able to enter from the house, and the cats will be able to come out and be out here, and then they can go down the tunnel and go into the front of the house. That's the plan. Hopefully it all will come together. I'll go and show you the internals now. This is in what is the lounge room. To my right is the printer room with all the printers. So this is where the original wood heater would have been. It's now a gas heater, done the conversion years ago. This was a gas heater when we arrived. Since then we've upgraded to this one. It's quite efficient. This one has the ability to heat the whole house and the thing. We've got smaller gas heating down the back. But anyway, so there would have been a wood heater here on this stone half, and over here was the door to your wood box. So I'll open it up, and I've now installed in here a cat door. I'm going to have to get some silicone, go for a trip to Bunnings and get some silicone and bits and pieces to seal it up. But in here now we have a cat door. So the cats will be able to access this, then they'll go through the wood box into that outside facility, and then they'll be able to go down to ground level through the tunnel. So when I was talking about I was going to build a tunnel, because it's the internet rage of building tunnels, that's what I was talking about. Now this cat door is here, so during the winter and during the summer, when the summer, stick you through the cat door. So there, you can see the light outside, and there's the red bit, and then you drop down there. So there you go, through the cat door. That's an interesting thing. So that is the plan. So it's designed. New cat door doesn't actually close. The cat door's there like that, so we can actually keep cool in or heat out, or heat in and cool out. That sort of thing. And then if you don't want the cats to come in or out, or you want to keep them out the back, you can just close the door like that. So when I was talking about building tunnels and bits and pieces, that was a bit of an April Fool's joke. The tunnel was a bit of a joke, but that's where we're up to with the catwalk project. So I'll go off and stuff around some stuff and come back to you. Just as a side note, I'll just point out why I'm filming this. This is the first time since we've got machines, all the new machines, running all the new machines at once. So they're all doing print jobs at the moment. Very rarely would you have 3 or even 4 running at the same time, but today, I don't know how well we can see that, but all the printers printing, doing different parts. This one's lighthouse parts, and another project that you may have not seen yet, but we'll talk about very soon. So yeah, very impressed with what we're doing so far. It's a bit hard to see in here because it's now on the shady side of the house, but I've just put the steps in. So there's a step there, so you can come through the hole. I've got to do a bit more tidying up, but I've run out of pool noodle. I think we're safe to give it an initial test. And then we have steps down, steps down, steps down. Pussycats jump very well, so they can get down the ground, and then eventually in that bottom corner there, bottom right corner there, will be a exit out of this facility down the tunnel, which will go there, which is our next stage. It's going to be a tidy up and clean up. I'll probably have to rehome ladders and bits and pieces, but yeah, that's where we're up to. So this is the I suppose the jump off station or the transfer station or something, but it's the stair climb for pussycats, so they can then go up and into the house. As we showed you inside earlier, I will have to go to Bunnings and get some silicone and tidy up the holes inside and do a bit of tidy up here. I might get some foam filler, some expanding filler. This piece here does have to be removable. So probably expanding foam, which you can cut out in a hurry. So if you ever need to gain access to the gas heater and the water lines behind it, you can. But that's stage 1 of the pussy catio build. Stage 2, well, and stage 3, well, that's probably 2 or 3 weeks away yet before we're building the next bit. Like I said, I'm actually getting assistants in to do it. I'm not doing the work myself. I'm doing some of it, but it's a big job, and it's good to get it done. I'm about to trip over something here and make great video. But there you go. Ball bearing bird trap, now converted to be suitable for pussycats. Bit worried how big cat's going to go through that tunnel there, but anyway, he's just going to have to work it out, or he'll have to use the other entrance, because there'll be more than one entry and exit into Pussy Tunnel. Yeah, the little girls will fit through there, no worries, no doubt. And they can, a couple of step options down to the ground level. Yeah, this hole here is up against the wall. That used to be the old entrance that we cut into it when it was part of the old system. Because it used to come out into this one and then into the white box. But it's all changed. So there we are. That's, I suppose we need to put the clients through and see how they go. They probably won't cooperate for video, but anyway, that's moving on. Back to the lighthouse build. I was a little concerned about the interface here between the metal and the cage and the cat and bits and pieces. So I've gone in there with some climbed in with a tin of spray foam and squirted spray foam everywhere, and when that sets up I'll go in and cut it nice and neat off. But there, that'll stop the cats, I hope. It'll keep the pool liner in there, the old pool noodles, in place, so the cats won't be able to expose to any of the metal. It's messy, but it's good because it'll keep everything safe. Yeah, plus, hey, spray foam, always good fun to play with, isn't it? Get it in shot, Dave, so people can see. So that is the thing. If you haven't seen the shelf in, we have shelf, and then there's a couple of boxes, so the cats can jump from the ground level up to that, and then go down the tunnel. And I'll have to get in there with a knife and clean that up and shape up a bit, but that'll do. That'll stop it, so the cats, if they do rub against it, they will rub against the pool noodle and the foam, not against any metal edge, which has potential to be sharp and not good for pussycats. So if you worry about the safety of the pussycats, it was considered, and that seems to have, well, when I tied it up, that'll do the job. And big fella, even though he's a big cat, he can get down through there and get back in there, because he wasn't trapped down here all night. I'm not going to really encourage them to use it too much till we've got it all done, but they can if they wanted to. They'd come out here and have an explore. Yeah, I just shoved Big Cat through the hole in the laundry to see where he went, and yeah, he seemed to have a bit of a wander and explore. He didn't come out and say he didn't like it, which is good. Stop. Now this will give you a laugh. If you look up there and you can see the lights coming through, there is a bit of a gap between the shed wall and the shed roof, and I'd like to try and close that in. And I thought I might try some spray foam. That was the intent of buying the spray foam, to fill in the hole. Was not a great success, so I might have to get some wool, some fibrous wool, some what they call it, anyway, the wool insulation, and shove it through there and fill the gap up with that, because something that won't rot exposed weather, because the expanding foam, well, that idea didn't work too well. I want to try and seal this area up to make it easy to heat, and it didn't go well because it wouldn't stay in the hole, and there is foam everywhere. I'll show you a bit more of the foam outside in a sec, but have a look at this. There's also a gap up the top. Up there, you'll see where the light comes through. We've got to try and get up there and try and seal that up. I have stuffed some wool insulation in some spots, but we'll try and get up there and do the rest. And I think it might have to be a case of climb up there and jam the wool insulation in. I didn't want to seal up this end of the shed, not all the shed. Now where the possum barrier in, I'll probably cut cardboard boxes up and just fit them in, because there's a chicken wire wall. Hang on, walk down and show you. See it? There is a chicken wire barrier up in here, because we had a possum visitor. We wanted to keep him out of the space, so he could stay in the other end where the possum box was. But this was pushing the friendship up here, so I put some chicken wire barrier up there. But as to this, yeah, went to Bunnings this morning and I couldn't resist it while I was there. I stuffed up my magnifier the other day. A little wire broke in it, and it wasn't worth pulling apart and fixing up. So I bought this. I bought the Ryobi One magnifier. I thought, yeah, okay, I've got a use for it. Where is? I'll show you the other magnifier later. It's this one. I've been using this heaps. It's really handy, and it's got a little LED in there, and you can light up and magnify stuff. Little wire in that head has broken. I can pull it apart and look at fixing it, but there's no way I could get a soldering iron in to solder the wire on where it's got to go. So it's a pity. So it's still good as a magnifying glass. You just won't be able to turn the lights on. But hey, new toy for that. And I discovered this. Oh, probably discovered it. Little compact silicon sealer. Instead of using the big caulking gun, you can get a little one. I should have filmed it before I used it, but I just got the a little caulking gun with a little caulking thing, and you plug it in there, and it did a little job. It was fantastic. I normally don't like using the big caulking gun, because you use half the job, you use half a big tube, and then it dries up and you don't get the rest of the job done, and you run out. So yeah, Let's yeah, great little find. When I was doing the order on Bunnings and discovered that, hey, you can get mini corker. Fantastic, did the job great. Have a look at this disaster out here. Look at this. Look at this. I'll go out and walk around. I'm about to go and have some lunch, and I'll let this go off, and then I'll have to come back and clean all this up. But I can't see because I'm in the sun. But there is yeah, expanding foam everywhere. It didn't quite. I'm looking right in the sun. So it came through there. Didn't quite work out how I wanted. You probably can't see that now. Oh, still trying to learn out how to drive this camera probably. But there's the spray foam. I wanted to zoom in. No, hang on. Yeah, the spray foam. It's coming up everywhere. Hasn't actually stayed in where I want it to stay. But I might go with my other option and buy a bag of rock wool and jam it in there. It's just to try and retain some heat in the shed. Camera, come on. Show the people what I want them to see. Okay, try again. Still learning how to drive this camera. But the expanding foam, yeah, it was not a great success. I decided to climb the ladder inside on the little step ladder, not the big ladder. I'm not allowed to climb big ladders anymore. Sprayed the foam in there and it went in. Didn't sort of like stay where I wanted to, and it all came out as well. Good one, good one. Yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to wait till this to go off, and I've got a couple more things to show you after lunch, which you might be interested in. Today's Wednesday, just giving you an update on Wednesday. I'm trying to, while the weather's still good, is to put in place of sealing the place up a bit better so we can keep some heat in. But anyway, look at that. Got the magic lime green boot in the shop. We'll have some lunch and back with you very soon. Well, I've just had a bit of lunch and I'm going to jump back in the shed. I've just done a bit of research and I've found out that earth wool is what the product is called, is more moisture resistant than what I thought. So I might be better off just going, I might even do that tomorrow, order it from Bunnings and go and grab a roll of earth wool and shove that in my gaps. I think it'll be better to do. I think it'll be also safer option for Dave to do, and we won't have spray foam going everywhere. So that'll be what I'll investigate to fill my gaps. Yeah, I googled it over the lunch while I was having lunch, and it's more moisture resistant than what I actually thought it was. Apparently it won't absorb moisture, and it shouldn't go more mouldy, and it's got about a 50-year guarantee that it'll be fine. So that'll outlive me. We're looking at the refitted lighthouse. Even the dragon's back in place. The light is flashing. Now it's not as slow as what I'd like. It's blinking about 60 times a minute. It's about a 1 second flash. Should really be about a 2 second flash, but if it's too slow, you ignore it. But anyway, it's a good effect. It's better than what it was. Dragon's back in place. I will have to do a bit of weathering on the new 3D printed sections. The black ring is new and the white ring under it, but it's all looking good. I'm very happy with that. The joys of having a 3D printer is you can reprint the parts yourself you need. There is Pelican Pete up the top in his spot, doing very good. I have to do a good tidy up on Friday. I normally do a good tidy up on Friday because the place is a bit of a disaster. But I'll show you what else is going on. Now I've got to reverse the door handle because look at this. The lock's on the outside. This is a door that, I'll see if I can zoom out, Dave. Not zoom in, zoom out. A door that was donated to us when we were getting the window for the tea house. I was given this door, and we originally thought we would actually use it to replace the back door on the house. Unfortunately, getting a hole cut in it for a cat door was almost uneconomical. It was beyond it. So it was decided to put it somewhere safe, and at the time we just screwed it into the wall here. Just a bit of a joke, and it kept it safe, so I can't really stand back or zoom out. So it's actually inside the shed, so it doesn't actually have a proper frame. But I've been working on it this morning to actually put a proper frame inside, setting up a door jamb, and I'll show you what I've done. You're going to laugh at this. Hey, if it works, it's great. There's nothing more permanent in engineering than a temporary fix that works. So I've glued a piece of timber in here, just glued it with some construction adhesive. So I've glued that in there, and I've nailed in what used to be 2B1 here, and I've sort of like framed. Now I've got to do something about the top yet, but I'll make up a thing, and I've got to reverse the door handle. Now we'll get the coins down, but this will close inside. I've got to work out a latch yet. The door, I'm going to build a closer for the door because it doesn't actually quite close, but we'll work on that. But we're going to have the inner door. So the outer door will still be the storm door. But you see, if you can see that, everything's going in the road. Hang on. You can tell that not much prep goes into these videos. I just like, hang on. So I've pulled me the Greek cafe blind down the road. I've got to wrap around my neck, can't really see what I'm filming, so I hope this goes okay. But you can now see, so when the door closes, I get the door, so you've got your door, this will close up. I've turned the handle around that way, so it'll latch into something. That's quite funny. But anyway, yeah, that's like now be a semi-permanent stay. It'll be able to seal the place up and keep some of the heat in when I get it all sorted. So that's on the cards. Might even put a door closer on it. It had a door closer down here. But it was just like screwed with the hinges onto the wall to keep the door safe so it wouldn't fall over and kill somebody or break the door and smash the glass. And then we'll have the outer door on the shed as well. Keep everything safe. I'll walk back so you can see what's going on. So that's one of the plans as well. So we've got a few jobs to rock on with. And I'll talk to you later. But yeah, definitely will probably be a trip to Bunnings tomorrow, and I'll get a roll of that wool. And I'll shove it in the gaps. Whether I do it from the outside or the inside, we'll have to see. But yeah, expanding foam was a good idea. Failed miserably, but Dave. Well, it's now Thursday. I've got a couple of things to show you. First one is I've fixed the door up. Look at this. Door closes. Shouldn't say them. What I've done is I've put a little bit of aluminium as a door catcher, as a strike catcher. There's a proper name for this type of thing, but there's a little bit of aluminium in there. It catches the door. I might 3D print one later because that's a little bit rough, because having an aluminium piece sticking out there might not be good. Anyway, the door opens. I took the door handle off and turned it round. So now the lock is on the outside and the latchy bit, this bit is on the inside. Now, when I was turning the door handle around, I cut out the bar, which is the lock, because I don't have keys to this. Later down the track, I might buy a proper lock. I didn't have the keys to this one, and I thought, well, look, I better disable the locking mechanism, because it's just as likely somebody to lock it, and then we're locked down the shed, which was a great idea. The only hassle is I had to do the job twice, because I got out the bolt cutters, the little ones, and cut out the bit that activates the lock, and then reassembled the thing, and I'd reassembled it in the lock position, hadn't I? Which was a bit crazy. But anyway, this thing here now does nothing. Just does nothing. It swings in the breeze, but then we have a door that locks. So we now have a nice, snazzy closing door. We still have the outer door, which we can padlock close and bolt that, but now, yeah. Oh, walk back in the sun. We now have a closing door on Shed Mahal. How nifty is that? So we have a inner door and an outer door, even though the door is actually upside down to what it should be. But anyway, it works. We won't argue. We won't argue. Door that opens. Woohoo! Okay, that's the first bit of magic. Oh, I've been to Bunnings this morning. Didn't see Glenn, but I did a pre-order the stuff I wanted, so I have some insulation wool, which we'll look at soon. That's a job probably later this afternoon. And I've got some seal strip so I can seal up the louver windows and the door, getting everything ready for winter. Oh, Dave, you're on a roll. I've had a really good night's sleep last night, so I am buzzing today. We'll see how much we can get done. Now, this is my other magic invention. Remember a couple of weeks ago I picked up this stand? from when the locals Miller's store closed down, and I mused that it would be handy to have as a light stand, for a portable light stand. Well, I've done that. I showed you yesterday, I went to Bunnings and grabbed, I'm not sponsored by Bunnings and I'm not sponsored by Ryobi, I just like their gear. I just do like it. So I went and got this Ryobi One Magni Ampy lighter. Oh, trashed the place, Dave. That's where you clean your workshop up at the end of the day. So I went and bought by this magnifying clamp light Ryobi One battery powered. And I've made up a block, a 3D printed block, the glorious having 3D printers, so I can clamp the work light on it. So this holds, I'll zoom in, so the clamps on there and it holds on that rack. I don't know how well you can see that, looks good. A bit hard to see the screen on this camera, it works. So I've done that. And we've ended up with this portable worky light thing that's adjustable in about 4 different ways. So I can move that to where I want to be, turn the light on and switch out the camera. So it's got a really good light. It's the 18 volt. Now I can't turn that off, now I'll turn that on. But, and the way I've set that clamp up is so it actually uses the Ryobi clamp. If anybody wants my design, I can share it, but it's probably a one-off. It's going to be no good to anybody else. But there you go, you can do that clampy thing, and now it's fully adjustable. And I went and dug out an old camera mount. So I had a camera mount floating around that I've also adapted to the stand as well, using very much the same method. So we'll be able to do some fancy stuff with the camera and do stuff, and it's all on a rolly stand. I'm actually impressed with this invention. Very impressed. I don't know. Sometimes I have to admire your own genius. Anyway, that's it, the updates for now. I'm going to rock on with some jobs. I'm going to see how well I go with this earth wool. Now, if this actually works out how I wanted, I might buy another roll and do the back of the shed as well, and we won't have to cardboard the eaves or do anything silly. We still have a gap up the top that we might spray foam with and try. Ooh, that could be interesting, the top gap. But anyway, we'll see how we get on with this, and I've got a few jobs to get on with, and we'll have a bit of a chat later. Howdy. Just want to quickly show you a couple of things before I edit the video and get the Friday video out. It's Friday morning. Running out of time this week. Well, it doesn't really matter, time's a concept that doesn't really apply to me, but I've been doing some stuff in the background, and yeah, just trying to spit out a video. I did grab a few weeks ago, one of those Chinese type thingy jobs that turn a electric planer into a small, what they call joint. I don't know why they call them jointers. It's really just an electric planer, and I've put it together. Actually surprised how easy it went together, how strong it is, and how square it is. Yeah, look at that. I'll just support the square there. I don't know how square we can see it in this little screen on this camera. It makes it a bit hard to see, but yeah, the thing's rather, it's a little bit out of square, but it'll do the job it needs to do. That square's a bit old and wobbly and had a few good drops, but if I hold it in there. This is a old Makita. It's not a Ryobi, it's a Makita that came from Wally Fergwood's workshop in Bathurst that then Dad had. And I'm going to use it to do some little jobs, not big jobs, looks like it'll. I've spun the thing up and everything works fine. Do need to change the blades. So we can have a look at the blades. They're getting a bit old and chippy. They're a bit rough around the edges. But I'll have a play with those. I do have some blades that came with it. So yeah, that's next week I'll change, well, sometime I'll change the blades out. Get it working, yeah. So that's the latest finger remover. Yeah, interesting to have a play. I'm surprised. It is quite solid. It's beefy. It's done well, and it's pretty easy to set up and square up. So I'll have a play at that. Over on the railway, we have a new chassis running in that's chucking a few laps to run in. I was going to give you a bit of a preview of what it is, but we'll leave that to next week. There's been probably hints in this video if you know what you're looking at. But I'm building a new loco. Now this is quite a large loco for narrow gauge, one of the largest Australian locos on narrow gauge, floating around. I won't give too much away yet, but it's probably a bit too big for our railway. In fact, guaranteed to be too big railway. I'm surprised this Bachmann, this is the Bachmann SD48-2 chassis. Surprised it actually runs around my tight curves, but it's doing okay. So giving it a run to run it in, and I programmed it up on the DCC. And by the end of, well, next week's video,